Nice. How are
Uh,
you?
Terrible, if I'm
Oh,
honest. But it's just the reason I say that and I wanted to call is because just like the other person who I think wrote you a message was, the feeling of there's no point.
yeah,
It's just become really, really prevalent and
yeah.
uh, all-encompassing. And I mean, even I was reluctant to call because part of me was saying, what's the point, right? Uh,
So you believe what's the point? It got you. The thought got you, eh?
yeah, yeah,
You believe
absolutely.
it to be true. So you believe
I'm in
that
the
there's a point.
jaws.
So you must believe there's also a point. In order to believe there's not a point, you must believe that out there somewhere there is a point to this life. There is a meaning. There's a God in the sky that's like, dang, da, da, dang, you arrived. There is point.
Yeah,
So, in order to believe that there's no point, you also have this other idea as well. It's a solar plexus imbalanced. It's completely impersonal. And what's happened is it will have come up, this feeling of no point, and then you've believed it, and the solar plexus will have already had a weakness there, and then it's just got more and more. And then in the body, it will have made your organs uncomfortable, which will have encouraged, because everything is connected. So in the body, it would have sent your organs and your system out of balance, and then it will have most probably produced less dopamine and serotonin and melatonin in your brain. So it will have exhausted you and produced effects which people call depression, but it's not that you're actually depressed. It's that originally your solar plexus is out of balance and you believe it's true. You believe in this idea that there is point or there is no point. And normally, in the past, I would have suspected that you were someone that was motivated by excitement, because being motivated by excitement is also something that is relevant to the solar plexus and relevant to feeling pointless, because it means that when you do something, it has to have lots of excitement in it, and if it doesn't have lots of excitement in it, then you're not interesting. So if it's not very dramatic, so like just going to work and like or sweeping the floor or cleaning the house, it's like, what's the point of that? That's boring. That's not exciting. And then you think it's got some spiritual meaning to it, all of this, like that point has something to do with spirituality, but it's actually that there's an addiction to having high, dramatic, exciting stories. And when that's not present, you don't know how to operate in daily living. Please
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. This need for drama
Yeah,
is
and then that
so
creates
big.
complete chemical disbalance in your brain. So you train yourself to only react to excitement. So what you're doing, and our society is very guilty of this and does it a lot, is you're kind of creating a bit of a manic depressive personality. Not that you are manic depressive, but you're encouraging these manic stages, which then are followed by very low stages and very exhausted stages, because you've got a solar plexus disbalance in the first place, and you've associated drama and big excitement as big feelings as the meaning to your life. And that's not the meaning to life. Big dramatic feelings isn't the meaning. The meaning and the point to life is being here and experiencing. And it's got nothing to do with excitement and drama and stories and ideas. And now you're currently on the back end of it. If you meet a beautiful woman, you'll suddenly get the excitement back. If so, like falling in love will bring back the excitement, getting a career boost or getting a bit job money will bring back excitement, or something going wrong, or like having to save the world, those sorts of things.
Yeah, I mean, when you say
If
that,
you want to be the Buddha, you've got to see the illusion of this. If you want Buddha nature, you've got to see the illusion of this, that this is absolute bullshit, and that you've invested in this. You've invested in it throughout your life, and now you're having the consequences of it. It's karma. You receive what you, what's that saying? You receive what you reap, like what you sow.
yeah.
Like I forget these sayings. It's my dyslexia. It gets things back to front. I can't remember them very well. So
Yeah, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
you invest in excitement, you invest in drama, and you forget about the ordinary, and then you're going to go through these highs and these lows, and you're going to have problem with the solar plexus, you're going to have problem with liver, you're going to have problem with anger, you're going to have problem with frustration and depression, and you're going to have problem with your spleen as well in your body, and those meridians that go through your body. And it will affect the other areas as well. Find the beauty in sweeping. Find the beauty in the feeling of your hand on the bed. Find the beauty of this moment, the simplicity and the ordinary of this, and then you'll find the point and meaning to life. You'll have been doing this habit your whole life. And it's down to you, but it's also not down to you. So it appears as if it's down to you to see through it. But ultimately it's not, it's God's will, it's life's will. But on the human level, it's whether you desire to see through it or whether you desire excitement more than seeing through the illusion. So what is it that you want?
I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of disillusionment till now. And most of it has been just not even being aware of what I'm doing 99% of the time. Just
Yeah. It's coming back to learn the body. I think we've spoken quite a few times before, but I struggle sometimes when I don't see someone's face. But we've spoken before and you've been very excitable, is that right? Or is this not you? It's a different person.
I think it might be different because usually I'm very I don't appear very exciting as a person, but the stuff but the things you said about seeking drama, that does definitely resonate.
Yeah.
It's like I'm all about all or nothing. This has to be perfect or it's shit.
Yeah, perfectionism is also related to that area as well. It's also related to the lower area. You got to see, what do you want? You want the perfectionism, you want the excitement, you want that, or you want to wake up. You'll get what you want. We always get what we want. And you've just got to be honest with yourself. And the way that you be honest with yourself is you've got to learn what your body wants and what your body doesn't want and what instructions are coming through from life. Not what your mind is telling you, not what you think you know about yourself. The mind lies, the body doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, that in of itself is such a struggle, knowing what I want, trusting that.
Yeah, because you believe the mind over your experience. You've listened to your mind, your thinking mind. Have you got a strong intelligence?
Oh, if I have?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But I mean, yeah, I do base a lot of my decisions about past experiences, about pain, of just calculating, oh, this might cause this consequence, things like that, and
that's the seeker, that's the illusion of self. Like, who is it that's doing that? Who are you? See who you are and act from that. And who you are is this moment. So it's rather than being identified with timeline, it's acting from this moment. It's a completely different way of acting. It's totally letting go of control. Again, that's solar plexus.
I mean, is there something I can do to get the solar plexus resolved, or
do you want me to give you an answer to that? Do you want to actually do something about it? Like, you've got to, I'm not saying that you don't, but you've got to decide what it is you want, because you'll get what you want. And sometimes it's that we want to stay in the momentum of thinking about what we could do or should do, and it's not that we actually want a solution to something. Like, is it that you really want this, or do you want to find point and meaning again?
No, I really do want resolution to this, because just things are not going well at all.
Yeah, there's lots of things that you can do to work on the chakras. So Osho is really good for the chakra work. Have you heard of Osho?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's really good, but you just learn about stuff. So go online and see if there's books that you're interested in. But Osho's breathing chakra meditation is really good to do, like doing that every day to get the energy moving in your body. But predominantly it's seeing it's not true and not staying in bed, forcing yourself to get out of bed, to exercise, to do things, like not staying still, forcing yourself to do things, and beginning to move your attention into this moment, like putting your attention in the I am. And seeing that even if I'm suggesting all of this, so I'm telling you to do all of this, seeing that it's not you doing it, it's something that's happening. This is a description of what can happen, it's not a prescription. So I say this stuff and either your body is going to respond and do it or not do it. It's not actually, there's a separate entity there that can do it. So just know that as truth, that you aren't the doer. And then question who you are. Who is doing stuff? Who is doing stuff? Do you
Yeah.
you live in India?
No, Canada.
In Canada?
Yeah.
Do you go back to India very often?
I'm not from there actually.
Where are you from? Or where was your family from?
Very mixed. Well, actually, it's funny you say that. My grandma was actually from India, although I've never been there. But I was born in Turkey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason that I say this is because another suggestion would be to spend some time in an ashram if you need more extra support to help you in that line. Is to use an ashram or to use a community to help you if you're really struggling to be motivated and to do things. Like if it's really very difficult, an ashram is a really good thing. That's why I was asking where your family was from if you go and visit India.
Oh.
But Turkey, I don't know so much about Turkey. I just know that there's Sufis there, but I don't know if it's set up the same way as India. And the good thing about India is that you can go and stay in an ashram for long periods of time on a Western salary.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
Just to help kick start the body. It depends how bad it is. Like if you can't motivate yourself to do things, like if it's got that like really bad, like as in you've got very little energy to do things, then more than likely you need to go into an ashram environment by yourself. You'll really struggle to get yourself out of it. Depends how deep it is.
Yeah. I don't know if I will go to an ashram if I'm honest, but
how deep is it? Like how bad has it got? Like are you motivating yourself to go out?
I mean, sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's just that I just go to work and come back home and sit, lie down, and just watch stuff, and that's pretty much it. I mean,
but you're managing to go to work?
Yeah. I mean, the money is a huge motivator. So.
Yeah, but the fact that you're going out, like that you're not. So whereabouts in Canada are you?
Montreal.
Montreal.
Do you ever think of coming to Montreal or doing a talk here?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe when my French gets better. For 10 years' time.
We do speak French here, yeah, that's true.
What's your first language?
Turkish.
Turkish.
Yeah.
I can't tell when you speak English. I know it's not fully Canadian, but I can't tell where it's from, like where your first language is from. Like it sounds very Canadian, but I could also tell that it's not. Until when you said that, I thought your first language was French. But normally I can
I
tell,
think,
because I travel so much, I can tell most accents instantly. Like if they're from Canada or if they're, I couldn't quite tell yours.
yeah, there's a distinct Canadian accent, that's true. I think it's because I've learned so many languages that they cancel each other out, the accents.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, there's a very distinct Canadian accent. It's very sweet. I like that. The Canadian accent. I think
yeah.
apparently my accent is quite sweet sounding to English speakers as well. Like I think I have quite a funny accent. I sound like a turkey. I always think like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wish I had a British accent because I don't know, I feel like when you sound British, you sound so much better.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's
I,
just different perspective, I
it's
guess.
it's funny because in Europe the mainland Europeans like the American accent. They're not so into the English accent. It's
Oh,
not so
really?
credible over here. When I go to America or Canada, it's more like, but here it's like, oh, they like the American.
Oh, wow. Okay, I guess I'll move to England then with my Canadian accent.
Um, so what was I going to say? So yeah, in Montreal, um, you might find, I would recommend going to a group, because if you've got solar plexus issues, it means that you'll have lack of energy. So if you could find a group that works on chakras, an Osho group or a chakra group that works physically, not mentally, you want to go to one which is doing exercises, and sign up for a course that does that. And the good thing about that is it'll force you to go every week and to do it, and you'll really notice a difference when you begin to do it. If you think you can be motivated to do it at home every day for an hour, like they often can be quite a lot of work, then go for it. But if not, then signing up for a group is a really good thing. Like other people supporting you to do it is a good thing. And it can make such a difference. And this area that I'm talking about now is not so much about non-duality, but it could be that you had a tendency towards this, and then non-duality has pushed you in that direction. Not that it's meaning to, but when it's began to question your excitement or your point or your meaning, then it stimulated that area, that chakra, which needed to be worked on. And it's not that you're going to work on it and you're going to get to non-duality. You're already in non-duality. You're already free. You're already here. It's just that if you keep believing it's true, then you're going to keep seeking, and non-duality is going to keep being veiled. Like it's like you're totally identified with this area and with this idea and this belief system. So it's like it's just breaking that, just relaxing it to see that that isn't true. That is simply a thought that comes and goes, and it's got nothing to do with you. Who is the person that has point or doesn't have point? Who is the person that's looking for meaning? It's an absolute collapse. Freedom is an absolute collapse into this moment. So this moment is acting, not somebody that's got an idea of where they're going, and then somebody that's got this plan of their meaning or their future or their destination. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a hard one to see through. It's very convincing, and it comes with lack of energy, which makes it harder. A lot of people are stuck in this.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the Western world are stuck in this, especially because they work for these big companies, and that you just go to work for money rather than for like a business that you own or you run yourself, or for passion. It's harder to that's the dynamic of working for these big companies, I think, also plays a part in this. It's like a part of capitalism, of what it does. We were never meant to be that removed from our hunting. It's capitalism that's made us so removed from going out and getting our food and getting our money. It's made us live for this mental idea of working for a company that will protect you, and pensions and security and paying for your mortgage, and all of this is very mental. rather than more spontaneous, which is okay. There doesn't need to be a problem with that. But if you're identifying with the person, then that capitalism ideal can be very suppressive. It's easier to go to work and to get more motivation if it's your own company. If you're actually going out and finding food for your family, you're way more motivated.
Mm.
It's part of what happened as we evolved into this industrialization and capitalism, is that we created this society that was very much based on long-term plans, which isn't a bad thing. It helps us survive very well, but it encourages identification. It encourages this constant obsession with the timeline. It encourages a certain mentality that's always striving for the future in hope of safety, in hope of materialism, in hope of not becoming homeless. And it's very removed from your natural instinct of, say, gardening or looking after your house or building things or being creative or farming animals or producing your own products. So you don't really get to see the end products. You're going there for a mental idea of producing money. It's a mentality. Our society is a reflection of the separate self. It's not wrong in any way, but it goes hand in hand. So we've created this society that's trying to make survival very safe, but in doing that, it kind of very much suppresses humanity, suppresses our creativity and uniqueness and independence. And it makes us dependent on a system because we're afraid of death, because we're afraid of failing, because we're afraid of falling through the gaps and dying a slow death in nature or something, like all these imaginations. And it creates all these rules that are very suppressive, that you have to live by.
Yeah, suppression is the word, definitely.
Yeah. It's an effect of living in a society that's created by separation. And it's not society's fault. It's not that you have to leave your job, but it sort of goes in hand, like the way that we've created our economy and the way that we've created job structures is the way that we see ourselves. It's all about the long run, getting there eventually in the future, and we never get there. You just keep working for this machine. It keeps like turning the clogs. And for the individual, what it does is it kind of suppresses them and makes them this animal that's always working for the future and always having this dream of the future and always being encouraged to dream about the future and making it one day. Or suddenly getting enough money or something happening so you make it. And it doesn't appreciate or value in any way the present moment. It doesn't appreciate doing the task out of love compared to stress and productivity. But the power of doing things from love would make companies way more successful. From doing things from positive energy would make things way more successful than doing it from stress energy. But that's how they do it. And so it's like they fight the system. They get all their workers to really work from stress and to fight nature, to fight the natural law. And the natural law is that everything is energy and everything is karma and everything works from love. And these big businesses with all the employees are working from stress, and it's like the whole system is like it's like those pickaxes that are going up the ice, walking vertically up the ice, like, and it gives all the workers that kind of feeling of like really struggling. Rather than this flow, this natural way of being, it's complete. And our school system is what introduced us to this, that we have to work. Like kids play because play is a form of learning, and we're taught at school that we're not allowed to play, that play is bad, but play is the way we learn. Play is the way all animal learns. That's why we play, to learn. We're taught at school we're not allowed to play, we have to work. This is such a huge mistake. It's crazy. If we naturally were allowed to play, we would figure out work and we would love it and we would do it from an organic place. But what we're taught is we have to work and that we have to pass tests, and we're taught to do things out of stress. And that's what these companies are based on. And all the employees feel flattened in these companies, most of them, because of that phenomena. And they don't teach in any way that all you've got to do is come back to your natural way of being, presence, the detail of doing your work, like doing your work with integrity and love and intimacy and detail, and facing your feelings when you do it, like not doing it just purely out of stress and trying to get to the finish line. It's like facing each feeling as you do it, like facing the discomfort, like being honest with your feelings, being there, being present, properly experiencing it. Sorry, that just went off in a massive tirade. It just happened. It just happens sometimes.
No, that's cool.
You've got to think about my poor boyfriend. He's just wanting to watch Netflix and then I'm off. Triple Gemini.
No, that's fine. But no, thank you. I mean, I'll definitely look up ashrams. Maybe they're in town, and
yeah, or just somebody that teaches chakra meditations. I wouldn't advise sitting there. I'd advise something very physical. This one that this Osho chakra breathing meditation is very physical. Something like that.
yeah,
you could look up Kundalini
whatever.
Tantra. You could look up as well. I'm sure there's lots in Montreal.
Yeah, there should be for sure. Yeah.
But also maybe you want to listen to this back, because I really spoke at you at quite 1,000 miles an hour. So you can listen to it again on YouTube.
No, that I definitely will. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much for calling in and your openness.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for your listening.
Pleasure. Nice.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.